Hey there, while you're watching this video, something amazing is happening. Your brain is actually reshaping itself with every thought. This is a super important detail to remember with OCD. Today I'm going to break down exactly how exposure and response prevention therapy works to physically change your brain. Ever wonder what's going on in your head during those intrusive thoughts? We'll walk through real examples of someone with harm OCD, and I'll show you the actual changes that's happening in their brain each step. And don't worry, this works for every type of OCD. This is practical stuff that you can use today to take back control and change how your brain responds. Think of your brain like Play-Doh. It is not this rigid, fixed thing that is set into stone. It's actually constantly changing, molding, and reshaping itself based on what you do every day. This ability is called neuroplasticity. It's literally your brain's superpower. Most people think, well, my brain is just the way that it is now. I've been doing this thing for so long, that's just how it is. Nothing's gonna change. But science has totally blown that idea out. Even if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or you're 80 years old with OCD, it doesn't matter. You can still change the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling. Those circuits that seem hardwired for OCD are not. They can be rewired. When you have OCD, something specific is happening in your brain. Those scary, intrusive thoughts follow particular neural pathways that have really just kind of gotten too strong over time. This happens because of how you react to each thought. It's not about the thought itself. The thought doesn't matter. It's how you're reacting to it. Imagine your brain as a forest with tons of possible pathways. Every time you have an unwanted, intrusive thought, and then you do something about it to get rid of it, you're stomping down the same trail over and over and over again. So your brain's like, this is the path. This is where we go. It's worn. This is where we go now. It automatically follows this path every single time because it's easy. It's like water flowing down the easiest channel. Your brain gets stuck in this feedback loop and it's hard to break. These neurons fire over and over again, creating patterns that repeat itself. This is why willpower alone just sometimes is not enough to beat OCD. You're fighting against actual physical pathways that have been reinforced 1,000 times. But don't worry, this isn't to scare you, because brain scans have actually shown that you can change the way that your brain functions. Create new pathways. When you stop doing the compulsions and you start responding differently to these intrusive thoughts, your brain physically changes. New connections are made, and the ones that are not used anymore, they get weaker. This is why ERP therapy works so well. Okay, so let's see what's actually happening in your brain when you do treatment. We're gonna use Sam as an example. He has harm OCD. He experiences terrifying thoughts about grabbing a kitchen knife and hurting somebody in his family. Even though he would never do this, his brain sends those false alarms anyway, and they feel incredibly real. Most people's first instinct would be to tell Sam to avoid knives completely. Figure it out, man. Why would you do... This isn't who you are, but like just in case, maybe put the knife away. It makes sense, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Avoiding these things actually strengthen those fear pathways saying, this is actually a big deal, when it's not. Instead, ERP does something counterintuitive. Sam may need to deliberately hold the knife while accepting uncertainty about what might happen. So in his first ERP session, he might be holding a knife, practicing different statements. I might harm my family. I might not. This isn't about reassurance. It's about sitting with the discomfort, not knowing for sure, almost acting like you don't care. My heart might be pounding, but whatever, man. I'll face a problem when there's a problem. And I know a lot of people are like, but what if I actually did it? I feel like I'm gonna do it. What if I gave into this thing? That's for any OCD theme. Well, then I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. And I know that's a hard answer to accept. I know the nature of OCD. It's better for us to risk something like this that is unwanted, ego dystonic, which means it's not part of who you are or what you want to do. We already know it's not going to happen. And don't use that for reassurance. That's just how it goes for OCD. But as Sam faces this moment, his prefrontal cortex, that rational part that can override the alarm system, begins to activate more strongly and wants to learn something from that. Two key mechanisms work together: habituation, repeated exposure that naturally reduces anxiety over time, and inhibitory learning. Sam's brain rewires itself. That fear response, it's saying, wait a second, I'm associating this with okay, I guess you're not in danger. I felt like you were. You got rid of the knife and nothing happened, and that's why nothing happened, because you got rid of it. So you probably did a really good thing, and let me remind you next time, this is important. Don't hold the knife. But when you don't give into that, it's saying, wait a second, you didn't give into, you didn't harm somebody and you still held the knife. Something's happening here. Like, how can you hold the knife and not hurt somebody? I told you were going to. Oh man. So maybe I need to stop telling you that you're in danger. That's when the amygdala, the brain's fear center, gradually calms down. The International OCD Foundation reports that through this exact process, 60 to 80% of people experience significant symptom reduction. I mean, that's better than medication alone. When Sam shifts his attention to cooking dinner instead of how do I make sure this doesn't happen, it weakens this old fear pathway, building these new ones. It's not just done one time. It's repeated exposure over and over and over and over again. Maybe it's 30 times a day. He's just randomly going in the kitchen, grabbing the knife. I might hurt somebody, and puts it down, goes back to his life. Cool, hope so, I don't know, maybe. For his brain to just be like, what are you doing? Remember, you're not supposed to do this? Well, because you told me not to, let me go do it. As long as you're not breaking your morals or your values or you're hurting anyone else, exposures are fair game. Here's the thing though, Sam's brain might still alert him of potential danger, but after doing this over and over and over again, those warnings will actually quiet down. So with inhibitory learning, Sam's brain is not erasing this fear completely. These pathways might still be there, but you kind of think of like grass has grown over it, they're kind of old. Why would you take that path when you can take this one that you've created through exposure that is just like, this is it, man. This is where I go. Which means that you might have a thought every once in a while about the thing that used to scare you, even if it's 20 years down the road, but it's not going to be as strong as it is now. So if you've never done exposures before, for whatever theme, maybe you start with writing down all of your fears, all of those things that trigger you. Make a list, pick one of them, see which one that you're willing to risk right now. I'm holding knives, I'm reading my scriptures, I'm playing with my kids, I'm gonna notice my breathing on purpose, and then create responses to it. They're usually uncertainty responses, maybe, maybe nots. We're choosing to not know for sure. Because I can't say, I would never hurt anybody. I'm gonna hold this knife next to them, but it's not who I am. I'm a good person. I would never do this. That's not part of my nature. No, we're like, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Because the brain doesn't like uncertainty. But I need you to tolerate that because that's what's going to get you better. Because we don't actually know the future for sure. So it's really kind of the only true answer we have in this moment. But we create these responses, either that you don't care, maybe you're agreeing with it just so you can say whatever, cool, whatever. Or you're doing the maybe, maybe nots. I love the maybe, maybe nots. We're doing this until that anxiety reduces, sometimes by half, or until you're really just kind of bored of it. If your anxiety doesn't reduce, that's cool too. Your brain's learning something from those situations. Once you get bored of that one, do another one. Usually people hold on to a few that they're like, I'm never gonna do this. I'll never engage with this. Nope, not my thing. No, we gotta do those things too. So the whole point of this video, you can change your brain. Doesn't matter how old you are. Let's change some new neural pathways. This one says it's important. Let's shift it over here and do this one over and over and over and do the treatment. If you're not sure how to even do exposures, check out my online course. I'll link that down below. Takes you through it step by step. So I'm curious where you're gonna start today. Let me know down in the comments, have you done exposures? Do they work for you? What things are you facing? And there's another video here. Go watch it. It will help you with your OCD. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you think of your brain like Play-Doh, that is set into and unused, we're gonna look at somebody